luxury creams just sit on top of skin, but Olay goes 10 surface layers deep. Our clinically proven hydration beats the $500 cream to strengthen my skin for smoother, brighter results. Your best skin yet. Olay.
Tomorrow on ET.
It's very scary operating on your wife.
Plastic surgery secrets from the doctors of botched.
This is our ET retrospective.
Y'all be sure to check that out. Now listen, we've got one more thing to show you before we say goodnight. Bye, everybody.
I worked on myself a lot. I still do therapy weekly.
Happening now.
A fire on the northwest side last night ripping through these apartments on Gus Eckert. Firefighters struggling with low water pressure. What we know about the issue with the hydrants.
And food pantries at local school districts are essential for families on a tight budget. Coming up, how they're working extra hard to keep their shelves stocked, even as kids return to class.
An updated look at our fire weather conditions, along with record-challenging heat, and ERCOT's supply and demand outlook coming right up. The News at 5 starts right now.
Now, 20 apartments gone just like that after a massive fire ripped through a northwest side apartment complex last night. You could just see those flames there. It happened at the Fredericksburg apartments.
Our Garrett Berger learned that firefighters ran into a problem as they battled that blaze and is at the apartment complex now. Live, Garrett, they apparently had trouble getting enough water.
Absolutely. Now, the building at the Frederick Apartments is uphill. You can see it in the background behind me. Now, with a fire this big, firefighters are relying on water from the nearby hydrants. But the San Antonio Fire Department says it had problems doing it. A fire department spokesman said private hydrants on the property and hydrants along Gus Eckert had extremely low pressure. They said there were good hydrants along Fredericksburg Road, but they were a ways down a hill. The chief mentioned the pressure problems on site last night.
The challenge is some of the hydrants that were very close were unable to get a good connection or water flow from them, so then we had to go further away. It's all hydrants, but some of these were ineffective, and then because of the elevation, you've got to pump that water up.
We asked Saws about the issues with the hydrants. Now, in an emailed statement, the utility said it tested nearby hydrants this morning and that 9 of 10 of them met the water pressure standards. The 10th hydrant was down, believed to have recently been hit by a car. Now, the utility said there was only one private hydrant on the property with a hose lying next to it. The utility said multiple trucks drawing water could cause a dip in pressure, especially if they're moving water uphill and shooting at multi-story buildings. Now, a utility spokeswoman was unable to say why the department had apparently had better luck with the hydrants on Fredericksburg Road, saying that the utility has not gone through a technical discussion. Live on the northwest side, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Now, new at 5, guilty. A jury has convicted the man accused of opening fire and killing a man during a Martin Luther King Day celebration last year. The defendant in this case is 19-year-old O.L. Wallace. The victim, who you just saw in a picture, was 61-year-old Johnny Mobley. Wallace told the jury that he opened fire in self-defense after someone attacked him first, but the jury didn't go for that. Now that he's convicted, he faces up to 99 years in prison, and the punishment phase of the trial starts tomorrow.
The Bexar County prosecutors say little Mercedes LaSoya died because of the horrific actions of her mother and her boyfriend. San Antonio police say the 5-year-old had visible bruises, scratches, cuts, and swelling on almost every visible part of her body. Today, her mother, Katrina Mendoza, in court to accept a plea deal. According to that deal, she won't be sentenced to more than 45 years in prison. Before a judge, she pleaded guilty to assault, to intentionally or knowingly causing serious bodily injury to a child, her own daughter. It happened last year. Back in February, Mendoza took her daughter Mercedes to a hospital after she became unresponsive. Hospital staff tried to revive her, but she died. Homicide detectives then launched an investigation and found evidence that linked Mendoza to her injuries. SAPD's investigation also led to Mendoza's boyfriend, Jose Angel Ruiz, being arrested and charged as well in his case. Now, that's slated to go to trial in October. She's expected to be sentenced after that trial is completed.
Cruz in Bernie City Lake found the body of a man believed to have drowned yesterday. At this point, we don't know his name, but the Bernie Fire Department says he was 25 years old. Investigators say that he was walking in the water at Bernie City Lake when he suddenly reached a drop off. The water got several feet deeper. People who saw what was happening, they tried to go in, they tried to help him, but they couldn't find him. So they called 911 and Cruz came. They started looking, but they didn't find his body until this morning.
This afternoon, San Antonio police arresting 17-year-old Nathan Cruz for making a terroristic threat to the public and a family member. Cruz is the cousin of the Uvalde mass shooter at Robb Elementary, according to his arrest warrant. In the police report, Nathan Cruz allegedly was threatening to shoot up an area school. The report also says that family members overheard Cruz on a phone call allegedly attempting to acquire an AR-15 as recently as this morning. Again, he is under arrest. He was booked into the Bexar County Jail. An update now on the investigation into the deaths of the victims of the fatal shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. More than a year after the tragedy, a medical investigation into whether some of those victims could have been saved remains stalled. Dr. Mark Escott, the chief medical officer for the Department of Public Safety, telling ABC News he still has not received autopsies or medical records from that day, even though they were requested 9 months ago. Escott leading a panel of doctors who are looking into whether or not any of the 21 victims that day could have survived had law enforcement moved in quicker. The Uvalde district attorney refusing to release the information that they need for that investigation. If and when the panel finally receives and begins analyzing whether lives could have been saved, could be months and months before they come up with any real answers for the families and community of Uvalde.
In other news now, they are a vital resource for families during the summer months. But now we know that community food pantries are having to stay stocked year round.
Yeah, our Max Massey takes us to Southside ISD's food pantry and how it is preparing to help families as kids return to class.
Southside ISD classes start a week from today, and this is going to be the first full year here at the pantry's new location, a food pantry that has been so important for so many student successes.
We're fortunate to be in a new location. We've had multiple homes here for the food pantry.
Brandy Escamilla with Southside ISD tells us with classes starting just 7 days from now, this new location won't be filled with food for long.
I'm getting calls from counselors regularly. I know that this summer alone, we've ordered about $30,000 worth of food.
And the need isn't just concentrated on the south side.
I think it's the same. There's just needs. People are able to buy medications because we provide food that they don't have to purchase then. Same thing with the school supplies. So when they get food from us, then they're able to use their resources somewhere else.
Lana Averill with Real Life Community Outreach tells me their food pantry distributions on the northeast side, they help out hundreds and hundreds of families every week.
It's about 350 families, so it's still pretty busy.
Food pantries across the city have been so integral for so many cities around our community. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we sit down with one of those families and we tell you about ways that you can step up and help out. Reporting on the south side, Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Another record day today. So far, the high temperature 105. That beats the old record by 1 degree. That was set back in 2013. Of course, the average high is 97. Del Rio, so far today, 108. That's a record by a few degrees. Even Creasel Springs made it to 108. Laredo, 111 for the high temperature. And current readings are pretty close to the highs for the day. We're now at 42 100-degree days so far this year, and we've got the rest of August and even the potential into September as well. Right now, Eagle Pass 106, Floresville 108, Leon Springs 102. You know the drill. We're all feeling this heat. Mico 106 and near Lavernia 107. We'll be back to talk about the triple-digit heat, record challenging days, along with ERCOT's supply and demand outlook in a bit.
All right, Adam, thank you. Now let's take a live look outside and get you updated on your traffic. There we have 1604 at Shane Field where, it looks to be that exit right there at Shane Field seems to be blocked off and lots of traffic right there in the area. The other lane seems to be just fine, but just letting you know about that traffic there at 1604 at Shane Field.
I also want to let you know about a big closure in the works for the weekend. Road crews making preparations to put in sidewalks on the northwest side. Stephen Cavazos has details you need to know so you can plan ahead.
Expect those closures to continue right here in the Alamo City. So if you plan on hitting the roads, just know what to expect before you have to go. All right, let's talk about what's happening here along State Highway 16, or otherwise known as Bandera Road. We have curb and sidewalk construction. Now, this begins Monday, August 7th. This takes us to the end of the work week, Friday, August 11th. That work begins at 9 in the morning. Fingers crossed, that will wrap around 3 in the afternoon. Alternating lane closures in both directions from Loop 1604 to Circle A. Want to take a jump over here now to State Highway 151 over on the west side of San Antonio, where we have road work. Now, this also begins Monday, August 7th, and will take us to the end of next work week. That's Friday, August 18th. That work starts at 9 in the morning and again, will wrap around 3 in the afternoon. It's that time we will see a single lane closure on the westbound frontage road. That's from Town Center Drive to Westover Hills Boulevard. All right, let's take one last jump here now as we get a look at I-10 over on the east side of San Antonio. You see it there in full caps. We have a full closure. This takes place Friday, August 11th, and will wrap on Monday, August 14th, according to TxDOT. Now, this work will start at 8 in the evening and finish at 5 in the morning. We will show closure of the I-10 and Loop 410 interchange. All eastbound and westbound traffic will be diverted to the frontage road. I know it's a lot of information to read, so scan this QR code. It takes you directly to our KSAT traffic page. There's a full list of closures on our website at ksat.com/traffic. And remember this, all closures are subject to change, but still always good to know before you have to hit the road, so plan that commute ahead of time.
Always a good idea. Now, coming up, instead of the dorms, some college students are moving into apartments. So we check out appliances that students can buy that can make living off campus convenient and affordable. I'm Myra Arthur here in the newsroom, and here's what's coming up today on the news at 6 o'clock. The Bexar County Fire Department responding to a fire in Von Army, how neighbors stepped in to try to help that fire to prevent it from spreading. Plus, imagine not just working in, but cooking inside of a food truck in this heat. We'll show you how some of these businesses are trying to still keep cool and just how hot it really gets inside those trucks. And IT training, certifications, resume help, and more, all for free. We'll tell you who's eligible for this new program and when's the deadline to sign up. All that and more today on the news at 6.
Thank you, Myra. It's that time of year when college and grad students moving into those first apartments. And that can mean buying more than a few things.
Oh, you remember how expensive that was.
Yeah.
Yes, adulting is in fact expensive, as we all know. So 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz shows us some essentials that make the grade.
These college roommates shared a mini fridge in the dorm. Now it's going to their first apartment. If space is an issue, a mini fridge is convenient and can help with costs.
A mini fridge allows you to stash some snacks, drinks, and a meal or two so you don't have to spend all your money on meals at the dining hall.
For early classes or late night studying, a coffee maker can keep you from overspending at the cafe.
You might think a single serve is the way to go, but many are pricey, and that doesn't factor into the cost of the pods, which are also wasteful if you can't recycle them.
This Hamilton Beach costs less than $30. For tea drinkers, an electric kettle heats up fast. This Sakura gets top ratings and it's easy to clean. For cooking in that first place, Consumer Report says consider a toaster oven.
Instead of a microwave, you may want to consider a toaster oven. They're much more versatile. And these days, air fryer toaster ovens are very popular, so you get 3 appliances in one.
This Cuisinart offers convection, cooks and can bake, broil, and reheat. It's also an air fryer. Versatile appliances that multitask can help make the most of limited countertop space, too. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Takes us back, doesn't it?
I made a lot of ramen back in those days.
Oh.
You know.
Out of laziness or?
No, out of necessity. It's all I could afford.
For me, it was
ramen, mac and cheese, you know.
Mac and cheese, for sure.
Totino's party pizzas
Hey.
by the time I lived off campus.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was my go-to breakfast for so long.
And here's how you know you had too much of it. When even thinking about it, you go, ugh.
Oh, no, I still love them.
Oh, wow. So you didn't have enough of them.
Oh, I still love them. Yeah, those party pizzas. They'd be on sale for sometimes 25 cents a piece. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's all about cheap. I still make ramen every once in a while, so there you go.
Oh, good stuff. If only we could go back just for
No, I'll stay where I am. Thank you.
Let's take a look at our temperature trend here. Here we go. More triple-digit heat. 104 tomorrow, 105 Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, 106. We've cranked it up. 4 of the next 7 days are likely to be record-tying or record-breaking. Now, that brings us to the concerns with ERCOT. They reissued their weather watch because the supply is going to get pretty close to the demand. Now, the supply that's forecasted tomorrow through Friday is this blue line on top. The demand that's predicted is just under it, but notice how it gets pretty close here during the hottest part of the days, especially what's predicted on Thursday. It's going to get pretty close. So we are expecting to have enough energy. This is just a good reminder to do what you can to conserve energy between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. There is actually some not as hot air in parts of Texas and just to the north of us. Notice most of the state triple digits, but we have some 80s in the Panhandle and even Oklahoma, parts of the plains. There's a frontal boundary that's draped across North Texas, and that's dividing the 80s and 90s from the 100s that we have here and across most of the state. Right now, Carrizo Springs 109, along with Del Rio, 110 in Laredo, Kerrville at 102, along with Fredericksburg, and New Braunfels now 105. Here's a look outside. We've got the clear skies, 104 degrees. Dew point dropped down to 59. We have that mixing, the drier air aloft mixing downward, and pretty significantly. So the heat index not a factor at all this time of day. It feels like 104 once that dew point drops below 60. But the flip side of this is that increases our fire danger. Now, here's the fire danger forecast for tomorrow, according to Texas A&M, especially taking into account all the dry grass and the fuel that we have for fires. And we are in the very high category across a good chunk of our area. And of course, we saw fires over the weekend and even a few popped up around the state today. One of the issues is in the afternoon, that humidity really drops. So in the morning, it's really sticky. The relative humidity is high, but once the air dries out a bit in the afternoon, that relative humidity drops down into the 20th percentile, and that allows fires to spread very rapidly. Now, it doesn't mean the weather causes fires. They just can and will spread rapidly, combined with some winds as well. As for the rain, unfortunately, nothing around Texas. They could have some in North Texas later tonight and into tomorrow because of that boundary. But the big action here is on the East Coast. You see these red and yellow boxes indicating the potential for severe thunderstorms. Around here, it's more of the heat high for us. And unfortunately, the rainfall potential just is not in place for us. It's all outside of Texas, off to the east and northeast, and some of the monsoon moisture in the desert southwest. So tomorrow, more of the same, 79 in the morning, 95 at noon, 104 the high temperature. That would tie the record for the day, and a south-southeasterly wind at 10 to 15 with some higher gusts. So the combination of that low relative humidity in the afternoon and some higher wind gusts, any little fire that could spark could quickly get out of control. I mean, we're talking just discarding cigarettes or even parking a hot vehicle on top of tall grass can get it going too. 105 in Divine tomorrow, New Braunfels, and then Bulverde 101. Several record challenging days on the way. Nothing but sunshine, a lot of heat, and morning temperatures right near 80 with those afternoons around, basically right around 105, give or take a degree. Next, coming up at 6, actually, we're going to be talking about a tropical update and what's in the Pacific right now.
Okay, thank you.
All right, the Cowboys have so many great players and have for so many years. They have not had a reliable kicker.
No, and that's really been something that's hurt them, at least in recent memory. Yeah. So now they started off training camp with 2 kickers. Now they are down to just 1 after releasing number 16. We've got the details. Plus, will rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud start the Texans preseason opener? Coming up.
You ready? How you doing, Coach? God, you guys still on your day off, lingering in here? Made a lot of fines today here. What do you think, Clarence?
Yeah, fine.
Take care of that, man. Clean your locker room up. Let's go.
Don't be late to presser following a day off, or Coach McCarthy will call out the media like he did this morning in Big Board Sports.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
After a day off yesterday, the Cowboys went back to work this morning in Oxnard, California as they prepare for their preseason opener. And the boys are now down to one kicker in Brandon Aubrey after they waived number 16 Tristan Vizcaino this morning. During Saturday's practice, Vizcaino missed all 3 of his field goal attempts, while Aubrey went just 1 of 3. Not that much better, right? But enough for the boys to keep him and waive Vizcaino. Here's Coach McCarthy on the roster move.
Tristan, obviously was with us at the end of last year. So, during the evaluation process, we felt that, it's an opportunity to give Brandon the majority of the reps. But, as far as another kicker competition, we're always open to that. That's not a set. But I'm excited about this, our young guy. So I want to make sure he gets the reps.
Aubrey will get a chance to show what he can do Saturday at 4 p.m. when the Cowboys host the Jaguars in their preseason opener. And the Houston Texans also returned to work today after getting Sunday off. And right tackle Titus Howard, not pictured, suffered a broken hand. He had surgery to repair today, and he's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. Meanwhile, rookie quarterback and number 2 overall draft pick C.J. Stroud is getting ready for his NFL preseason debut. Head coach DeMeco Ryans hasn't named Stroud the Texans' official starter Thursday night, but every snap he's recently taken has been with the first team.
Yeah, we'll see. He'll go out there as well. All right, most of our guys will get work. Yeah, from CJ in this game, I just want to see a guy come out and command the huddle, command the offense, get us lined up, get everybody on the same page, and just operate efficiently.
Stroud and the Texans will open up preseason play Thursday night at 6 at the Patriots. It's being reported CJ will start. And the Cleveland Browns have signed defensive end Charles Wiley from UTSA. He was originally signed by the Ravens as an undrafted free agent last season and spent some time between the Ravens and the Giants practice squads in 2022.
I still don't understand the Cowboys and a kicker.
I don't either. I mean, but you know what, though? We have Cowboys fans in this building and don't understand the team as a whole.
Well, that's true.
Another story.
Jesse's talking about you
yes.
over there, in case you didn't know. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
All right. It's everywhere, I guess. Thanks to Barbie Mania, the color pink has apparently invaded as areas of daily life, including food. The latest craze, take a look at this pink cheesesteak, courtesy of a New York restaurant near Syracuse. Woohoo. They're jumping on the Barbie bandwagon.
Yeah,
that's a really bright pink.
Yes, it is. I don't know that I'd try it. Yeah, it's a viral Malibu Barbie Dream Drizzle cheesesteak. It has all your typical cheesesteak ingredients with the addition of the Barbie-worthy extra ingredients, edible glitter, and a pink sauce. Edible glitter.
I wonder what the pink sauce tastes like.
Now, the pink sauce, well, I'm going to tell you right now. It's made from red dragon fruit and house-made ranch. The restaurant owners say that the power of Barbie magic has made the sauce very popular. I'm just wondering if there are a lot of leftovers.
Barbie magic. Right there.
All right. I want to show you this map again for the fire danger tomorrow. This is from Texas A&M, and it really takes into account how dry we are. But keep in mind, in the afternoon, the relative humidity really drops and the wind picks up. So we're in that high to very high category.
By the way, the owners of the cheesesteak were tickled pink at its reception.
We'll see you at 6.